So, hi everyone, welcome to another conversation with the Lees, flying solo tonight. Um, but nevertheless, we carry on. Um, yes, I'm flying solo tonight. As you see the topic, um,
You're having a laugh? My God. Really?
so as you see the topic, you will you will understand where we're going with this one. And so, um, let's see how we're going to go with this. Um, just want to say, of course, welcome to all our subscribers. I think we are 222 subscribers, which is fantastic. Um, Coming from where we were, but we are now looking to go beyond that. As you know, we have a project, like a project 1,000. So we hope to have 1,000 subscribers by January next year, January 16th. Would have made it 1 year anniversary for us. And so we're looking to have at least 1,000 subscribers by then. All right. So I just see the topic. Um, After 20 years, the question is still being asked. Yes. But before we get into that, as we indicate, once you come on the live, you register for class. That's how we call it now. Say register for class. You click on the live, and you are on, or you're marked present for class. All right. So when you come in, click on the live, and that would indicate that you are here for class. All right. So as you see the topic, um, it is one where I don't know, sparks controversy, but nevertheless, we're going to just take it one step at a time and talk about it. It came up just because, as I said, we just want to explore certain conversation because I think over the years that mankind has been on earth, we have, as men, tried to figure out women. We have tried to understand them. We have tried to do the right thing. And many times we mess up, many times we do the wrong thing. So the question is still being asked, what do women really want? So I came up with the topic, and as I say, we're flying solo tonight. I don't know what, let's see what happens next week, but we're flying solo tonight. And so, 1 second. Hi guys. All right, sorry about that. Had a little thing to do with in the room. All right, so back to the topic. After 20 years, the question is being asked: what do women want after 20 years? Now, of course, you can share your views. Of course, you can share your opinion on it. But even after 20 years, the question is still being asked: why? Sometimes I find a situation where your your spouse, your wife, your lady may say something to you, and she's stern about it, and this is the way she wants things to be done. On the other hand, sometimes you follow the exact pattern of what she says, and yet on a different occasion she said, no, that's not what I want to be done, or you have to know when to do it or know how to do it, and it brings another level of the unknown to you as the male. Now, mark you, um, I have I have been married for 20 years. God's willing, December will come, we make it 21, and so it may sound strange that there are still some you know situation, or this question will be still be asked. You understand me? But I think, like, I've spoken to a lot of men who are far older than I am, and they have said, listen, me, you can't or never ever try to understand women. And you guys can tell me if that is a fair statement. And say never ever try to understand women. Just learn to live with them, learn to appreciate their contribution, um, learn to what I say now. Um, some go as far as say, well, take them as they come. So the question is then, is it possible to really understand women? And I know it's controversial, but we're going to talk tonight. Yes, is it possible to understand women? I mean, the truth is, like, for example, over the 20 years that we have been married, yeah, there are some situations that come up that um, we use as learning or teaching moments. And so you say, all right, for example, we never disagreement come and you say, all right, for example, well, I for one, I like to listen a lot, um, especially when the conversations are calm and collective, and everybody is mutually respectful and thing. I listen a lot because I want to understand. Um, I want to get an understanding of what the issue is, and what went wrong, and how we will fix it. That's how I think. That's how I operate, right? And so over the years, some things will happen, and you will, in retrospect and in conversations, you will pinpoint, what are the issues and what are the things that go wrong. And I, for one, I take notes. I take notes, meaning if Michelle says to me, um, don't do it this way, or she don't like this particular thing, I take notes. There are some things here that, I mean, that we as men, we will make mistakes, or we do some, make bad decisions sometimes. And in those bad decisions, you have to humble yourself and make the corrective measures, meaning whatever it takes, you repent, you change your ways, you make all the necessary adjustments that you need to make. You understand me? And even with all of that is made, and some situations come up, it's like you're still at limbo. You say, but hold on, no, but you said this and you said that, and we're doing it. Yeah, but not the each at the moment. That's not what I meant. Or you have to know when to do it, or you have to know what that. if I'm this way or that way, you can't approach me now. You have to wait and give me time and space and whatever, whatever. And so sometimes it becomes uh, a little challenging, just say this. It becomes a little challenging. And so we, over the years, you know, I think in relationships, and as you come, you can like the page, I like the life. In relationships, you over time, you have to like learn each time this especially a disagreement come up. You have to learn because the disagreements come. I honestly believe the disagreements come in two ways. It come to either strengthen the relationship, and without wisdom, sometimes it can break or destroy the relationship. You understand me? No, for Christians, if whatever the decision or whatever the situation rather the disagreement that comes up, our mentality is not about okay, boy, it don't know, or you know it's when lead to separation or whatever. We don't. That's not the mentality. And if it is that you are in that situation or you feel that way, it is not necessary or necessarily that you do that or you think go along that line. Because the truth of the matter is, thought becomes things, and thought becomes, your thought can materialize. Yes, it will materialize. That's the two things that God has given to mankind: um, thought and speech, or mind and speech. Whatever we think about, we can bring about. Whatever we think about, it can come to fruition. So, in when you have disagreements, the thought is not to say, okay, um, this is why this is the end of it, or why this is the end of the road. No, when you have disagreements, the thought that should come is, all right, then, how can I make, how can I fix this? And I'll lie to you, the heat of the moment, it not always go down so calmly, because at times things are said that hurts you, things are said that hurts your partner, and that is one of the things that we have to kind of safeguard against when you're having disagreements. And I'm just using disagreement as an example, right? Because it is in disagreements that you learn what you need to learn about your partner. If everything is nice and hunky dory, if everything is nice and there's no, I mean, disagreements don't have to turn out into a brawl, but disagreements are disagreements, meaning you don't share the same opinion sometimes, and beyond that, somebody is being stubborn. Beyond that, somebody is being hard headed or whatever, and so that disagreement can prolong and prolong and prolong. You understand me? But the truth is, it sometimes gets challenging to fully understand what it is that women want. And you can, as I say, you can voice your thoughts, but voice your opinion. Because for us as men, I'm told that women think in color, men think in black and white. Meaning, if if for us as men, if it is that you say, um, move to the right, take 10 paces, and then to the left, we 90% or 99% of the time try and do that. Um, and I know what, like, so sometimes, well, it is said that women are more emotional than men, and I think that's a fact. That's not belittling. It's a fact that women are more emotional driven than men. Men think from a, they call it, and not that women don't think from a, they call it, the point of, oh Lord, is a particular word. I don't remember it now. Analytical or what? I don't know if it's analytical because I think women can be analytical, but whereas men, we just we see things in black and white. We don't see things in colored. Meaning, it is just either white, black or white. But the woman is black or white. It is black, white, purple, pink, yellow, green, all manner of colors, right? Now, I can be wrong. I can be wrong. All right, but as I say, guys, I'm not just here to to voice my opinion or push my opinion. Um, yeah, you can say we're flying solo tonight for a purpose. For a purpose, we're flying solo tonight, and so you can, I, as it were, I'm presenting a man's perspective on things because we believe as men, where we just deal with things as it is. You understand me? I find over the years, and I don't know if it is we can't know peculiar to ladies, but maybe it is. But I find over the years that when men are having like discussions or even with the wife having a disagreement, we will stick to whatever the issue is. Meaning, if we're talking about the cell phone, we're going to stick to talking about the cell phone. Um, Ladies, however, don't do that. I find that ladies will, the topic is a cell phone, and then she may move to the couch, same topic, same discussion, and she moves to the curtain, same discussion, but the real meat of the matter is the cell phone. And you find that women, even though, welcome Kingdom, Kingston Woods, even though you find that you try and say, but remember, we're talking about the cell phone. Yeah, but um, you can't just be talking about the cell phone because there are other things that affects the cell phone. And you say, all right, point taken, but we can't put everything in a one thing now because if you put everything in a one, all right, Kingston Rule says facts, no subject change mid discussion. Cool, exactly, right? So we will say, okay, yes, other things may affect the cell phone, but for the purpose of coming to a understanding, in the purpose of coming to a conclusion on this, yes, because we're not talking about the components now, but say for example the usage. So so the topic is about the usage of the cell phone, right? Now, so you can have wrong use or misusage, whatever the case may be. But the topic is about usage. But ladies will say, no, you can't talk about that alone. You have to add this, you have to add that. And I find that it becomes convoluted. It becomes all embroiled in something else. And before you know it, you drift out of the main topic into another topic, into another topic. And you have, and it gets a little too much. It gets a little too much, right? But I think overall, I don't the scripture teaches us, and scripture says that boy, we as men we have to deal with women according to knowledge. Now, what I deduce from that, I understand from that is that the knowledge comes through what experience, right? And so over the 20 years now, I've been going to the school of women. Um, Even just through my wife, because I can assure you, whatever issues whatever issues we confront or I have with my wife, right? Even as a counselor, I've not been trained professionally, but at church, I give myself to sit and talking with person and counseling with them. Whatever situations I encounter with my wife, it enables me to counsel with other married couples. So when I said yes, I've been going to the school of women. Or in one woman, is in one woman you find um, an entire college. Hmm. In one woman you find an entire college, and the college is a college of women. And so you can use, well, in essence, and I'm talking about over many years now, you can use the experiences and the discussions and the disagreements and all the stuff you have with one woman, and you can over the years compile it and realize that you can use that and deal with other women. You understand what I'm saying? In the sense that even in for example, even at work, I talking to somebody, you have to then use your experience to talk to somebody. Speaking of a female now, over the years, again, even at work or wherever you may be, you have to use the experience that you have garnered over the years to speak with other women who are, who you meet with and have to encounter with. You have ladies who, of course, will come, straight to you and say whatever, whatever. You have to now use your brain, because one of the things that you will learn from you will learn is that, all right, if a lady come to you and say X, she is not just thinking that, okay, if you come to her, if she comes to you and she says X and you respond in the affirmative, she ain't stupid. She gonna be thinking like, oh, so if I was on the other side, this is how you would have treated the situation. That's what I mean. So the experience you have with your spouse, your lady, you can use that experience. And if you're with her for a good period of time, as I said, the scripture says you have to deal with woman or deal with your wife according to knowledge. Welcome, Michael Damien. All right, welcome. Yeah. Over you can use those experience you have garnered over the years. That's why I don't know. I don't know if it's such a challenge, or if it's a challenge, because let me say it is such a challenge because I as I said to you, love to listen. I love to listen. I love to learn. And I'm sitting here to say, boy, most anytime say me and Mish have a disagreement, I am the calmest. Most of the time I start out calm, and sometimes it depends on what and where the conversation go, where the disagreement go. Mainly disagreement, because we have sat and have beautiful conversations, and you wish every day would be like that. But sometimes there are disagreements, and so depending on where the disagreement, what is said in the disagreement, where it goes, sometimes the decibel levels kind of get higher, and that is something I need to work on personally. But generally speaking, the knowledge that you garner from one helps you to deal with many. And that's why sometimes I wonder how you have, and I'm not casting stone, but it's a talk facts. Sometimes I wonder how you have one man having five, four, and five women. Because although him not got, well, you have some relationships now where even in modern times they have a man, and I guess maybe because of his financial status, he's able to have, and not only that, not only his financial status, but also they have ladies who are like-minded to live with, four or five women in the same house with that man. And I'm saying to myself, whoa, that man is either really silly, stupid, or him have everything under control. You understand? Because the aim, the aim, the aim that we have as men with our spouse is to please her, is to make her happy, is to do what is best for her, and if you have children, do what is right for the children, right? But even with that, there is a challenge sometimes, because when you think you're doing it right, you're not. Yeah, that's how it goes sometimes. But again, it is also a learning experience that you're going to have. And when you spend the time to listen and to learn, you go and gain the knowledge. And that is the knowledge that the Lord says you have to deal with women according to. Has to be with knowledge. Um, but I mean, as I said, you can share your thoughts. Let me hear what you have to say because um, flying solo tonight for a reason, but you eventually the reason will be it will be unveiled or unfold. But yeah, I think it's still a mystery when you stop to think because as I said, this minute it is okay to do something. Another minute is not okay. And the other thing too, there sometimes seem to be a law one for man and a law and another for the woman. In the sense that um, I remember having a disagreement with Michelle one time, and she said to me, "Oh, and this is the law rather. The law is if she says something, that's how it goes. But when you say what she said, that's not how it goes. Meaning, if she said that's how it goes, you shall must say that's how it goes. Because when you say it back to her, say, but no, you say that's how it's go. She will say, yeah, but that's not what I meant when I said that. And you're like, it goes back, you go back to like, okay then. You understand me? So is it a situation? Yeah, go back to what I was saying. That I remember having that. We had one disagreement, and she said to me that um, all women are the same, or all women are alike. Well, I saw women stay, and I remember we having a disagreement again, and I said to her, "But you see, you're behaving like every other woman," and she's like, "No, don't put me in that category," and I'm like, "Whoa," because it means like sometime it goes so, and another time it don't go so. You understand? And of course, people can change their minds, and you know things can change subject to how you feel and whatever. Um, but I still think that men just think in black and white, and ladies think in color because when I say think in color, no, they have different variations of something, and the difference in their different variation bring them to different um, conclusion at different times. And I think our duty is to keep up. Our duty is to observe and to follow and to learn, to look, to listen, and to garner the knowledge. And when you garner the knowledge now, then you use the knowledge where you have. You use the knowledge where you have, right? And the knowledge that you have is going to help you to navigate these different circumstances, the different situations. Yes. Just to say, pause for a second and say, boy, well, thanks to those of you who have been sharing our links and sharing our videos with your friends. Continue to do the same. We aim to get to 1,000 subscribers, and so your help is being solicited. Your help is being solicited. So yeah, I don't know. You can share your opinions because maybe I'm looking at it from a different standpoint. Yes. So I know for one that when we step out of step out of our norm. Because one thing I find out is this: when you're having a disagreement, you can't you can't ah but I'm guilty of this. You can't toe to toe with ladies. Guilty of it, not in the sense that showing back blows or whatever, but I listen so keenly that I will pinpoint what was said during a disagreement. And I remember doing that, and I find out that boy, it don't work. It don't work. You understand me? But all in all, I think the experience and the knowledge that I have garnered over the years, it has helped me to understand. I was about to say, it has helped me to come to some level of understanding as to how my wife operates, one, and generally speaking, how probably women operate. Because the truth is, there are some common traits among the female gender, and um, there will be some common traits among the male gender, and the common traits among the male gender, um, well, be it saint or sinner, right? Sometimes are similar, and it is only, I can assure you of this, it is only the grace of God that upholds us, and I think the ladies will probably say the same thing, because we understand that it's just the grace of God. But just that sometimes with life's situations, right? There's going to be always a kind of a different viewpoint from the men's perspective and the ladies' perspective, right? And there's always a desire. For example, if you're in a committed relationship, you're married to your spouse and thing, there's always a desire to find a way to ensure that boy, you do the right thing, you communicate the right way, you show respect and so forth. Sometimes, the heat of a discussion, um, it won't necessarily go as smooth and as nice as you want it. You understand me? But it is important that we spend time to understand each other. And you spend time to understand each other. Then, when I say spend time to understand, because there's always something that you're going to learn, there's always something you're going to, dive into, or you're going to experience, that will take your knowledge a little further and a little further. On both sides, there's learning to be had. But I find though that whereas we as men can just be straightforward and say this is what it is, it is sometimes they don't speak their mind as you as they should. Sometimes they leave it in like a little maze and have to figure it out. And sometimes in figuring it out, you can be left more confused. Just to say. All right. So I mean, again, you can show your comments out there. I don't see most some of our regular persons, but you can show your comments out there. Maybe they are late, but I don't intend to go as long as we normally go tonight, right? But just want to put a perspective out there and hear your feedback and have that discussion about it, relating to how women, let's say, want to show us what they want, and sometimes when you think it is what they want, it will still miss the mark. Yes, I can be wrong, but I think the experiences I've had, and I'm not. Don't get me wrong. Not trying to um, belabor or blackball my life, but we're just speaking about life experiences and how things happen and how it can come off, um, if you don't spend the time to understand, if you don't spend the time to learn, if you don't spend the time to garner the knowledge that you need to garner in order to deal with certain situations. Yes? So, I know psychologists and we call them psychiatrists, all the mental, you know, dealing with mental issues and psycho thingy. Those doctors will tell you that the makeup of women and men are completely different. So it goes for us where men are from Mars or so, women are from Mars and men are from Venus. One or two of them, right? And so the coming together is what makes the whole thing special. The coming together, the learning from each other is what makes the whole thing special. But it comes with its challenges, and the only thing that can enable you from um, not from navigating the whole thing is you having a commitment or a committed mind. Yes, a committed mind that says I'm in this for the long haul. I'm in this because I want to be in it. Um, I'm in it because I do love this individual. And when you say that you're in it and you love this individual, then it gives you the willpower to try again, to find a way. It gives you the willpower to make sense out of it all. Because one of the most um, nice thing to have or to see or to experience is the smile on your wife's face. Simple as that. It's one of the most thrilling thing to see the smile on your spouse's face. Well, in this situation, talking about my wife, it's one of the most thrilling thing to see a smile on her face. And Mark here, I think experience will tell you that is not necessarily the big things that makes a difference. It's the little things. Yes, irrespective of the situation, irrespective of what the experience has been or will be, it is a little thing. Is the little things that make the big difference, and it's not a if or maybe where the composition of male and female are concerned. We are two separate beings. Though the scripture teaches that women came from man, so first you had man and then you have a woman, because this woman now, well, God take the rib out of Adam and created a woman. So this woman or this being has a womb that would carry other man or other life forms, men and women or children, whatever the case is, right? So the difference is not just it's two separate beings, but one carries a womb that potentially now can carry children, right? But it goes to show that the makeup is two complete different composition. Yes, we see things differently, we react to things differently. I remember we had a we had a games night with some friends, and one of the question was asked, um, as a man, would you rather to be pregnant for 9 months or wear heels for 9 months? You guys can tell me, all the man here tonight, you guys can tell me um, which one you would have rather. You'd go for 9 months being pregnant, or would you go for 9 months wearing a heel? You guys tell me what you think. I'll tell you what I said afterwards. I'm not gonna tell you what I said first. You give me your answer, right? I think and for those, even if you have not been married and you've never gone through the experience of your spouse um, having children, um, you'd have watched a lot of movies and you'd have seen what men go through. 'Cause you have, sorry, the ladies go through, and then the response of the men. I have had the experience. I give God thanks. I was there for my two children when they were being born. I was there right through the whole process, um, which was well, I wouldn't say nerve wracking, because I realized that I had to remain calm and cool and help her to breathe and to count and so forth and so forth, right? So Andre says he would have gone through the 9 months of pregnancy. Okay then, happy for you, Jay. Um, you guys, all right. So what I said is actually I, I saw what my wife went through twice being pregnant, I saw what she went through, um, being, I mean, delivering children, and I opted for the heels dream. I opted to take the heels. I don't know. I mean, I think I could just, like just um tell everybody, say, boy, I just is a better loss or something, and just go and try it out. Maybe because I never worn heels before, so I probably don't understand the weight, or challenging it would have been to walk to walk in heels. But I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if I would choose the pregnancy. Yes, I mean, but I think God made women with that mental frame of mind. Yes, and yet you still have ladies who opt not to have children, right? Because maybe because of what they have seen others go through or whatever, right? But God made them with that mental fortitude and capacity to go through, you know, bearing and childbirth and so forth. I opted to say I'd work with the eels. You understand me? Um, another brother in the group said, if he well, the truth is he would choose none of the two of them, but the moderator was adamant you have to choose one. So I just say I don't know either, but I feel pregnancy would have been a better choice, or the better choice. Well, to each his own, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. But I just raise that issue to say that we are two separate beings, different beings, and what makes a difference is learning from each other. What makes a difference is staying the course. Hi, Brian. Good night to you too. What makes a difference is staying the course. Um, but I cannot sit here and not tell you the truth. That sometimes it is a bit confusing. It's a bit confusing. Um, I know Michelle was here, should have, show her jobs, but let's see what happens next week, right? But sometimes it's a bit confusing, and for those who are in relationships, you can speak, and those who have had to deal with maybe part relationships or whatever. You know what I mean? They can speak that it is sometimes a challenge to know what ladies want, because sometimes you're not sure if they know neither. Yeah, sometimes we're not sure if they know what they want either, because let's say sometimes it is one way is this minute, and in another minute it's a different way. One, two is a law that appears, or an apparent law that says, um, when I say it it's okay, but when you say it is not. And then see, and then you have to just be use your wisdom to say, all right, if this is that and this is not that, then I have to know that, when I have to know when this is that and when this is not that. Um, I remember some, as I said, I remember some other, men, older men than me, say don't try to figure it out, just go with it, just roll with it. I don't know. I don't know if that's the best solution, because what I find that works for me, to be honest with you, what I find that works for me is just to pay attention. If you want to take a notebook too. Write it down. Um, and the other thing too is you just have to be patient. Oh boy, you have to be patient. You have to be patient. Um, because sometimes they'll admit that they don't know what they want, but don't say it back to them another day. That's a wrong. Just don't say at this point she was in a certain frame of mind, and she said what she said, how she feel about something, and she, you know express herself. You make a mental note of it, or you write it down, whatever the case may be, and you just have to um, be wise and observe when is the best time to say it, when is the best time to to act in a particular way or to do a particular thing. Because the truth of the matter is, we can, well, what people say, you can't live with them and you cannot live without them. I don't I have made my choice. I don't want to live um, a single life. I rather live and live with having my wife or having my partner with me. Yes. And what that comes with is you applying wisdom, is you applying the knowledge you have garnered, and is you applying this rule that I have. Know when to say what and what to say when. And that comes from experience. That comes with experience. So patience is required, knowledge is required, wisdom is required, and knowing when to do what is very much necessary and required. Yes. So if you'd ask me over the 20 years of marriage, if I still observe, I still think that, boy, um, my wife don't know what she want. Generally, I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say generally, but in certain areas, yeah. Truth be told, yeah. But generally, I wouldn't say that because over the years, I've learned, you know, what is our favorite color, or you know, if I go out to the restaurant, I know what should I prefer to have for dinner. Any restaurant at all. For example, um, curry is just everything to her. She will take curry anytime, any day. Vegetable, you know, vegetable salad is anything, is everything to her. She's not a soda person. She prefer natural juice or water, if anything. Um, she love to be surprised. Yes, she love. I just bring stuff out of the blue, and she will appreciate it. Um, if we're going out, or if I go to the supermarket, if it is best that when we go to the supermarket, I just say to her, "This is the budget," and I should walk through each aisle and she took up something, and I'm walking beside her. If I'm walking beside her, because sometimes I might have to go to another aisle to pick up something, but if I'm walking beside her, she will say to me, say, "Can I have this?" And I will say to her, "Yes," or I say to her, "No." But sometimes she will just slip something in there, and as we reach at the counter, my seat I go up on the thing, and by that time, either she not looking at me, and if I do catch her gaze, and she look at me and I look at her and I look at the product at the thing that she want. Honestly, when you look at her at that point in time, you can't say no. You have to just pay for it. You understand? So, um, she loves shoes. You understand me? I say so. It's just in a certain areas, especially in a disagreement, in a certain areas, the challenge is there. The challenge is there. You don't know. This minute it is okay to do this or say this, and next minute it's not. You get confused. But again, you can share your what your experience has been. Do you find that there's still a situation where your spouse don't seem to know what you want? And as I say, I said generally speaking, but for me to bring it up as a topic, it means, boy, yeah, it'll happen. But yeah, that is basically what I had to discuss with you guys tonight. Um, don't have a lot of persons that I would normally come on. Not sure why, but I won't be going as long tonight because I've had a very rough week. Very rough week, and I have to wake up back early tomorrow morning to start again. So if you guys don't have any questions, I feel, and I'm happy that all those who came on, they have registered for class. Um, Thank you for registering. So if you don't have any, I mean, if you have any, do have any questions or do have any comments, I'm going to be closing the live shortly. Because I have to make some preparations for tomorrow morning to go to work early. But again, it was just one of those things that I thought to myself that, I'm going to fly solo tonight and we are going to just have this topic. You understand? Because even after 20 years, I still can say that in some aspects, yeah, it is a little confusing. Yeah. So Dre is asking, would it's all good with just a chill one. Would be good to hear what Michelle had to say as what she really wants after 20 years. Well, yeah, Dre, but this tonight was a deliberate thing to sit by myself and have a conversation with you guys. Um, let's see what happens next week Sunday night. I think I've actually sparked a serious conversation now because I deliberately didn't say nothing to her about it. Um, she may be mad at me about it, but I'll have to work on that. Um, but I just wanted to have that one to one. Now next week Sunday night, who knows? She we may revisit it and get fair point of view. And I might just have to just sit in the back and listen. Don't say a word. You understand me? Because as it stands now, I'm here speaking about or speaking on my perspective alone, don't it? So her perspective might be um, far more colorful than mine. Is it black and white? So until then, until next time, then I'm going to end the live now. Um, Thanks to everyone who came on. Uh, yeah, and we hope that we can get to at least 250 or so in the coming week with subscribers. So do continue to share, continue to send the link, share the link with other persons. Tell somebody about it. Tell someone the conversation we have been having. And if you find it informative, I'm sure others will find it informative too. All right. So that's all right. Willing to share anytime, Andre. Willing to share. For those who are just come on, you have to just watch out about the entire thing. All right. But um, my final word about this is that overall, we as men have to. The only way we can really please our spouses, is to one, listen a lot, listen a lot. Um, have patience, have patience. Three, um, know when to say what. And most of the times, when you're having these arguments, speak less. Because if you allow, say for example, it gets very dicey if you allow yourself to go with the flow. And we have been told, and I don't see any lady on the line yet, or who have said anything, but we're going to close anyway. That a woman's strength is her tongue, meaning she will say whatever sometimes come to her mind, and in saying it may hurt. And you just have to, just if you can derail the disagreement from earlier, not talk, not allow it to go far, is best. And if it doesn't happen, you have to somehow just try and hold your tongue. Um, you know, team in the scripture say, have control over it, because there are words you can say that you cannot return. There are words that you can say that will not return. And so you have to be conscious of what you're saying. Blessings, Lioness 774. Not sure. But yeah. There are words that you can say that you cannot take back. There are things you will say that will never be able to retract once it leaves your mouth. And the fact is true that life and death is in the power of the tongue. And you can say things that will cripple. You can say things that will, devastate. And so it's important not in the heat of the moment. And I mean, this is not rocket science. It's probably stuff you've heard before. But it is essential. And I hope that in the future, if things, get you're in a relationship and stuff, get to that point, you will remember something I said, which is, as men, hold your tongue. Don't just blurt anything that come out. Even the disagreement, in the disagreement, stuff is said that is going to cause you to boil, or your thing to boil. Where's Michelle? She's in the room, flying solo tonight, right? What may happen is that if you allow yourself to you know to lose control, I'd say that, things can be said that you can't retract. So in understanding or trying to understand what women want, it requires knowledge, it requires wisdom, it requires understanding, it requires patience, it requires overall those four. What covers those four? Love. It requires love. And so if you with somebody that you love, you're not going to just want to be loose with your conversation and be loose with your words. You're going to watch what you say and be careful that you don't destroy the next person is front of you. Yes? So until the next time, until our next live or until our next post, um, thank you for watching. Thank you for coming on. Um, thank you for um, sharing the conversation. So until the next time, see you on the other side. God bless.